It's a new monthly comedy show in Toronto. It is getting a whole lot of buzz, and it is for all the right reasons. It's called Laugh Without Limits, and it features comics living with disabilities. Here's just a snippet.
The good thing is, telemarketers hang up on me.
One of the show's goals is also promoting the importance of accessible venues. A lot to chat about. For more, we're joined by two of the production's producers and comics, Jared Nathan and Blair Williams. Thank you to the both of you for joining.
Thank you for having us.
All right, Jared, you and Blair go back, okay? You go back a ways away, and this is where the concept of the show came about. So tell me about this story.
Well, I first met Blair at Kansas Market.
Yeah, he kind of hated me at first because he was eating a sandwich and I wouldn't go like, hey, I've seen you on Killed Tony and I want to do comedy with you and blah, blah, blah. And he did not like me at first.
Is that true? Or
I wanted to eat my sandwich.
You just wanted to be left alone to eat your sandwich?
Like, through the interaction and the conversation, it came up that like Blair wanted to do comedy.
You wanted to do something together, yeah.
Yeah, and on the lack of accessible venues, that was a barrier for him to do, and I always wanted to do a show like showcasing people with disability, the challenges, going back to my roots and stuff, so to speak. So, and we are talking and stuff. In April, we decided to pursue this in Denver.
Yeah, you came together.
We came together.
I love this. So there were two parts to this from what I've gathered, is that you wanted to work together because you knew about each other, but also the importance of accessible venues, which you said.
Yes.
So let's talk about this for you. And how did you say, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to do it. Let's talk about the concept.
So Jared is a founder of a production company, Disability Privilege. And under that, we decided to do Laughs Without Limits. It's actually like a three-part Disability Privilege. Is like a three-part program. It's comedy, activism, and then giving back. We recently just had our first giving back. We celebrated New Year with a bunch of individuals with disabilities, provided a free lunch that was supplied by Unboxed Market and Kawartha Wholesale Bakery. And our stage work, like doing comedy, is kind of like activism, and it's an information center. It's like breaking down barriers, you know. Even with myself, like, you know, I have a disability, but for some reason I just kind of focus on myself and other people with spinal cord injuries. I don't really understand other disabilities. And when Jared and I first met, like, I didn't understand Jared's disability, right? But then through getting to know him, but that's how the audience learns over an hour, and we really feel that it's an easy way to make people understand, build compassion, and then of course laugh, right? At usually the ridiculousness we're pointing out.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, usually with comedy, it's an interesting one because there's like a line, right? Like, where do you jump over the line? And as a comedian, where do you decide? But as you said, you give the audience the ability and the permission to laugh with you about some tough topics, right, that people might not understand. How's the feedback been so far? What has the audience been saying?
The feedback has been awesome on so many different levels, because like you said, too, like comedy has a line too. But it's always good to blur that line too sometimes. But also misconception that people with disabilities can't be made fun of and stuff. But there's humor in everything.
And there's a lot of eyes watching this show right now, and you have sponsors behind you, but this is the bigger thing, right? It's happening on a monthly basis, but you want this to go on long term. So can you talk a little bit about some of the partnerships and perhaps sponsors and what the show has been looking like? Because at the end of the day, you got to get the people in the doors, and you want to be able to put on the shows, but you need help, right?
Yeah, we've had a sponsor right from the beginning, Stopgap Foundation. They provide light, portable ramps for one-step entries into buildings all over the city. They've done so much activism and allowing accessibility in the city that it's unreal, and we're so blessed to have them as a sponsor. We are starting to take the show on tour.
Ooh, okay.
Because we're getting notifications on our social media that people would love to come and see the show, but it can be hard for people with disabilities to travel, right?
Sure.
So we have a show in St. Catharines on March 13th, and we have 2 shows in the same night in Trenton on March 8th.
I want to take the show on the road because also this issue of accessibility is not only a Toronto issue.
Of course.
It's a national and global issue. And also, and like, there's so many comics with disabilities that just need a place to be funny and to take over the industry.
Comedy itself, sometimes there's, a line, it seems, like what you can say, what you can't say. What is the approach for you and all the comics that take your stage?
Well, it's right in our name, Laughs Without Limits. People with disabilities seem to have limits imposed on them by society, and we try to break that barrier. And also, comics nowadays, there seems to be a real limit on what a comic can say and what they can't say, and of course, we don't want to put any limits on our comics, regardless of their ability. And we look at it like as long as it comes from love and not hate, then it's fair game.
So you want to go to comedybar.ca if you want to get tickets, and I suggest you do, and then catch the 2 of you on the road. Thank you so much to you both for joining, and we look forward to checking in when you're touring the world.
Thanks.
Thank you.